1, 2, 3, 4.
By 1974, Bruce Springsteen was out of time. 2 albums released, critical praise but no hits. Columbia Records was ready to move on. For Bruce, it was do or die. One last chance to prove he belonged. He wanted to capture the sound of America itself. Big dreams, broken hearts, cars and guitars, all colliding in one epic story. He said,
I wanted to craft a record that sounded like the last record on Earth. Like the last record you might hear.
And somehow, against every odd, he did.
I'll do a song for you now. Well, my girlfriend lives in New Jersey, 16 years old, didn't come tonight as a personal favor. She's all right, but the boys are gonna tell you about her right now, right? Good. Ready? Well, her brains they rattle and her bones they shake. Oh, she's an angel from the end of her lake. Her brains they rattle and her bones they shake. Oh, she's an angel from the end.
This was Bruce Springsteen in 1973. Poetic, ambitious, and adored by critics, but unknown to the wider world.
Oh, she's an angel from the end.
His first 2 albums were full of street characters and cinematic lyrics, but they didn't sell. Columbia Records grew restless. Bruce was out of time. If his 3rd record didn't break through, it might be his last. Bruce went back into the studio with one goal: to create something bigger than life itself. A sound that could capture all the hope, desperation, and romance of the American dream. Out of that ambition came a single song, Born to Run.
I wrote Born to Run, sitting on the edge of my bed in a cottage I'd newly rented at 7.5 West End Court in Long Branch, New Jersey.
Anyway, this was the spot. What can I say? It was the first house I ever lived in by myself. It was very exciting, very exciting. And wrote all the songs from Born to Run. Little Aeolian piano in that window.
I was in the midst of giving myself a crash tutorial in 50s and 60s rock and roll. The darkly romantic visions of both Spector and Orbison felt in tune with my own sense of romance, with love itself as a risky proposition. There was little self-indulgence in them. They didn't waste your time with sprawling guitar solos or endless monolithic drumming. There was opera and a lush grandness, but there was also restraint. This aesthetic appealed to me as I moved into the early stages of writing for Born to Run.
Born to Run was released a full year before the album, a desperate promise that he wasn't finished yet. But one song wasn't enough. He still needed an album that could live up to it.
All right, that was a great take as far as we're concerned. Gary, did you hear that piano at the end that time?
We'll do another one. We'll do another one.
What followed was 14 months of obsession.
We went in to cut the album, and we just began to seem to have problems. We were unable to get a satisfactory take of a single song.
The Rangers had a homecoming in Harlem late last night, and the Magic Rat drove a sleek machine over the Jersey state line. Barefoot girl sitting on the hood of an old Dodge drinking warm beer.
The piano is starting to go out of town, we feel.
Well, I can't win
The piano was broken besides it, it was making a weird sound. Things didn't sound right.
Man, the other tape, man, when he hits one of them tom-toms, that damn thing explodes.
Well, probably had some echo on it too. I don't know what kind of echo you have on them, if any.
Endless takes, endless mixes. Bruce was chasing a sound he could hear in his head, but couldn't get onto tape.
And became very frustrating.
How do you like what I just did? I don't like it.
When I said, Mike, you know, we need help. We got to have help. We're dead in our tracks right now. We need an infusion of somebody else's knowledge and energy and point of view.
Then came a new voice, John Landau, a critic-turned-manager, who gave Bruce clarity and confidence. Landau had once written, "I saw rock and roll future and its name is Bruce Springsteen." Now he was helping to shape that future in the studio.
Right now there is no sound to the drums, you know? You don't hear, there's no sound, you know what I mean? There's no ground, there's no tone.
I said to Bruce, look, you're a first-class artist. You belong in a first-class recording studio. So we moved to a popular studio at the time, a record plant.
Certainly there was a technical, like, all of a sudden, oh, we're off and running now. It still was a process of getting the arrangements together.
You know, there were arrangemental choices, tempo choices, and key choices, and singing style choices, all manner of things to sort of sort out and think through or listen through and get a feeling, get the best feeling for.
We auditioned 60 people to get Max and Roy. 30 drummers and 30 piano players.
We played like a half an hour or so with everybody. It was just, and some of them were just dreadful.
And in the end, I think we chose them because they played very well, but also because internally they had all the reference points and they understood the language.
All of a sudden, we were in a situation where it was a brand new band, and it was not easy. When we started that album, we were still trying to find out exactly what it was that we did together and how that all worked.
That wasn't it, I don't think. Try it again. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Damn, we should have used that.
I told you the string should be up.
After more than a year, the pieces finally came together. An album that fused ambition and heart, poetry and power. It was finished, but no one knew if the world would listen.
I do remember having one conversation with him saying, you know, my 2 cents is we're done. You have another idea, it's the first idea for the next record.
I just had to spend more time beating myself up with it before I was going to let it go.
I said, although the record sounds perfect to me right now, I said, there's a pretty good chance that it's not. There's a pretty good chance that we're going to look back at it and maybe see things in it that, in retrospect, don't seem perfect. But that is life.
And finally, after I think I made a call to somebody called me who'd heard it and said, hey, wow, I think it's really good. And I said, oh, you do? And he said, yeah. I said, all right, so put the thing out.
October, Bruce was on the covers of both Time and Newsweek in the same week. Overnight, he wasn't just a cult act. He was the future of rock and roll.
Where the fuck you been? You're late. Highway was jammed with broken heroes on a last chance power drive.
Oh, you're gonna get fucking cute now.
But it was on stage that the legend was sealed. The Hammersmith Odeon show in London, 1975, introduced Bruce to the world.
It was like, we left New Jersey, we came to England, the Beatles, the Rolling Stones. And at the same time, you know, I had a lot of conflict inside me, and I felt that we were being perceived as something that we were not. And I felt, first of all, let the music do the talking. The band will speak for itself, you know. That's what we've been doing for, I guess this was 75. I started when I was 14, so I've been playing for 10 years. There was a lot of noise going on. There was a lot of commotion. And basically, I'm not somebody that is
I like being on stage when I'm on stage. You know, when I'm not on stage, I don't like being on stage.